USA. You, your family, and friends can be there for only $299 a person. This great low price of $299 includes your round-trip airfare via U.S. Air from Pittsburgh to Orlando, 7 nights hotel stay at a great Orlando resort, baggage, taxes, and tips, and much more. Children under 16 years of age are only $169 complete. Weekly Saturday departures are available from now through the end of this year. Royal also offers new 3- and 4-night packages with daily departures via U.S. Air. Please call your local travel agent or Royal Travel to receive a free brochure on this great Orlando, Florida vacation package. Space has been selling fast to Orlando, so to avoid any disappointment, call today at 261-0873 or call your local travel agent.
Welcome back live to Riverfront Stadium. Bob Pompiani along with Randy Cosgrove. Interesting first half, to say the least. One of the best games of the day so far. Elder had the early lead. Aliquippa came back to take it. Elder has retaken it here, and they lead 20-13 at halftime.
Yeah, a real sway of momentum back and forth. Elder having it early, Aliquippa in the middle of the first half, and then Elder coming back in the second part of the first half. I think the second half is going to be another outstanding half of football, and we're seeing two good high school football games here this evening.
Despite 20 points given up by Aliquippa, they have done a pretty decent job trying to contain Mr. Path, the quarterback for Elder. Although he has made some clutch passes, they have been in the backfield pretty much all night, so they're doing the right things defensively.
Yeah, against the pass, but against the run, Aliquippa is not doing a good job, which Frank Morocco is not happy about. They're not tackling well, and the game by Elder is being won in the trenches running the football. Right now,
20-13 is the score at halftime, and on the field right now is the Aliquippa Marching Band, and we're going to pick up some of the sounds of Aliquippa Fighting Band. As we look at first half stats, Randy, and pretty much an even game. Elder obviously taking advantage of the 2 turnovers late in the half. Aliquippa made 3 miscues. Elder has yet to make one. They did make some penalties, but again, the big play, missed tackles on the run by Huber, and that turned the game around really, because Aliquippa was knocking on the door. They make a mistake. Huber capitalizes 60 yards, and all of a sudden it changes.
yeah, possession time pretty even there, Bob, but the total yards, Aliquippa does have more yards than Elder, but again, the turnover is a difference, and Aliquippa has got to play error-free football in the second half, or near error-free football, and continue to pound it away. I think Aliquippa is in this football game. There's no doubt about it, but they've got to stop with the mistakes.
And Aliquippa has a pretty demanding schedule this year. They are looked to do very well in their particular conference. After this game, they have a game against North Catholic, at North Catholic. Then it's Kiski at Hopewell, and that game will be under the lights for the first time ever at Viking Stadium. That should be an interesting rivalry, interesting game. Then it's Montour, Blackhawk, Newcastle at home, followed by a trip to Moon, then Seneca Valley, and then the big game against Ambridge. And Ambridge looks to be a surprise team this year as well. They beat Center pretty handily last night, 28-0.
28-0. It'll be a homecoming of sorts, ironically, for Frank Morocco, because, of course, he taught and coached at Ambridge for 10 years. For the last 10 years, he was still at Ambridge, not as a coach, but also stayed there as a teacher, and now he comes back over to Aliquippa. So that's a long way away, but remember that date, November the 3rd. Interesting game between Ambridge and Aliquippa.
And this game here tonight, Aliquippa Elder is the 4th on tap. We had 3 earlier today, and taking a look at the Buddy LaRosa scoreboard, Covington Catholic all over Oak Hills today, 21-0. That score in the middle is not a mistake. Moeller ran up the score against Coleraine, 64-3. It was 40-3. They still were throwing the ball downfield deep, which led to a lot of controversy.
No excuse for that.
And then the game we televised, the first one tonight, North Hills, very impressive despite a lot of penalties. They beat Fairfield 25-6, and Jack McCurry is 1-0 off and running in Quad A football.
Jack's not happy. Fairfield scored a touchdown.
That's right. He wants that shutout streak. He has, what, 63 career shutouts, 11 back in 87. Yep. They like their shutouts at North Hills. There's no doubt about it.
Aliquippa will start the third quarter, Bob, kicking off to Elder in a very key possession for the first time here in the third quarter. Aliquippa down by 7 points, and they cannot afford to get down by 2 to Elder here in the third quarter.
Askew will kick it off. Back deep for Elder. Joe Huber, the one with 2 touchdowns. And also Kevin Martin, the man who is responsible for the other Elder touchdown on that pass connection from Rob Paff. So there's a lot of touchdowns back there, and they're looking for more on the kickoff as we get set for second half action.
There you see the Elder contingent. They do not sit during the football game, much like Texas A&M. I wonder if they picked up that tradition from the Texas A&M Aggies.
I hope that's all they picked up from Texas A&M, the way it's been going at Texas A&M. Askew ready to kick it off as the fans from Elder stand as one. A lot of people here from Aliquippa. A lot of people made the ride up from North Hills and Aliquippa. That's nice to see. And I tell you, our hotel room was absolutely packed. Our hotel lobby, I should say, was packed. And they're here to make sure that their team goes on to victory. This is Huber as he takes the kickoff from Askew. Penalty flag down after the play. And Huber got out to about the 25-yard line. We'll wait and see what's going to be handed out there. Kenneth Thornton made the play for Aliquippa, a clipping against Elder, and that'll put them back deep in their own territory to start the second half.
31,000 total in the house throughout the day, Bob, for those who didn't hear it in the first half. 4 games here today, 31,000 tickets, actually people in the house. More than that sold. I don't know what the exact number of tickets sold was, but 31,000 in the house, and that's a successful day for Buddy LaRosa and the Keith Spunk Company.
We have a clip, use of the hands in the back, 33.
Another penalty going against Elder. They're third for 30 yards. That was a 13-yard return, but it goes all the way back now to the 12-yard line. First and 10, the first possession of the second half for Elder as Rob Paff leads his team in the I formation. Paff hands off to Huber, and that's a name we've been calling a lot. Huber gets a couple of yards before he's met there by Laterne Beasley and Sean Durham, 2 guys playing very well defensively for Aliquippa, setting up a second down situation, and Aliquippa needs to do more of that, stopping this team on first down and not giving them the big chunks of yardage.
Good opportunity for the Aliquippa defense here to start this series in the third quarter deep in Elder territory. If they can force Elder to punt without getting a first down, or more importantly, could get them into a turnover situation, things could look good, but they do not want to allow them to get a first down.
2 men sent to the far right. I formation. Rob Paff looking back. Fires down the sideline, has the man right there. Kevin Martin makes the reception, good for first down yardage. No quip around him, and he is out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Kevin Martin, a senior. He's only 5'10", 163. You can see kind of slightly built, but he is a guy who likes to play football, and he goes out and he concentrates on making those pass receptions, as you saw earlier with the touchdown pass. Another good concentration right there. A low pass, but he went down and made the catch.
There's an Aliquippa player down at the 15-yard line. I believe it is Sean Durham. Probably has a cramp, and you can see he's in somewhat great deal of pain there.
That's what it looks like, though. The trainers are out taking care of him, and it looks like a leg cramp, Charlie Horse type injury. Durham has been playing a tremendous game on the Aliquippa defensive line. Frank Morocco has to be happy with him. Beasley, Tigner, Askew, all those guys. It's tough to replace a guy like Sean Gilbert, though. Gilbert, obviously, the guy sitting out this season at Pitt, but when he gets to play there, the Panthers are going to have one of the best prospects in all of the country. And how do you replace him? Jeff Bible does a good job, but you just cannot replace Sean Gilbert.
Well, there were a lot of great football players on that team last year, Bob, and I had the opportunity last year to broadcast 7 or 8 of their games and the state championship game against Berwick. Gilbert, the USA Today National Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year. He was a great one. But these kids here from Aliquippa this year, as we talked with Frank Morocco, they're on a mission. They do not want to be the GOATs. They do not want to be the team that lets the program sag down. And from what we saw in the scrimmage and what we've seen here tonight, this is going to be a very good football team this year.
Absolutely. As Durham goes off the field, it looks like he'll be back shortly. 9 of 14, Rob Paff, again in the I formation. I like the pass out of this. This time the pitch, and it goes to Huber, their big running back. Huber hit hard on the play. Outstanding tackle right there. And that's James Tigner again, number 82. And he's dishing him out.
That's called a stick in the business.
That's called a big stick in the business. And Huber this time looked like he was trying to find an opening somewhere to the inside, cut outside, trying to cut back in right there, and no ways, says Mr. Tigner. Tigner is in an unusual situation, transferred from Hopewell, and of course Hopewell and Aliquippa are big rivals. 2nd and 8 from the 29. First possession, second half, pass, straight back to pass, good protection. As Huber this time out of the backfield, and he gets short yardage. Eric Billingsley, along with Patilla, were there. Also James Tigner.
Huber has rushed the ball 14 times for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns for Elder High School. In the first ball game we did, North Hills won, but for Fairfield, they had a running back, Oliver White, gain over 100 yards, and Huber en route now for 100 yards this evening.
And he does it all out of the backfield. He likes to catch, and Path looks to him quite a bit. So he can hurt you in many ways as you look down right into the trenches of Riverfront Stadium. 9:31 left. Third quarter. Path. Looks like they had some miscommunication there. Path under siege, and he goes down at the 22-yard line. And Laterne Beasley was there, applying the pressure. Also Leonard Myers, as Aliquippa gets a big play right there as they sack Path. Loss of 10 yards, and that's a big play for the Quips. Forces a punt situation. 4th and 15, and Aliquippa should get some good field position once again. They have 2 guys back at about the 45-yard line. 3 sacks for Aliquippa, and that's what they like to see. Get some pressure on the quarterback, force some things. There's the punt, and it's going to bounce at midfield. Takes a bounce. Jones falls down. You see Jones at the 49, and that's where Aliquippa is going to have it as he slips on the turf. And Aliquippa will have their first possession of the second half with 8:46 remaining. 1st and 10 for the Quips. They trail Elder 20-13, and we'll be back with more of the Buddy La Rosa Football Classic right after we pause for this timeout.
Frank, I send you for a Bud Light, and you bring back...
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
So, there are no men here, there's an unlimited supply of Bud Light, and we can never leave.
Correct.
Because everything else is just a light.
We can live with that.
Yeah.
Say it. Just say those 3 little words. Ruffles have ridges. I love that.
Ruffles with those ridges. What else could it be? Ruffles have ridges.
Ruffles potato chips, available at Farmore. Shop the Farmore, not far from you.
Make any occasion special with Carriage Limousine Services. Whether it's a prom, wedding, anniversary, night on the town, sporting event, city tour, business meeting, or a trip tour from the airport, you'll experience only the best in comfort, luxury, and service at an affordable price. After all, what better way can you beat traffic and parking problems and have time to prepare for a business meeting or enjoy a full complimentary bar? To experience the ride of your dreams, call Carriage Limousine Services at 488-7000.
7:52 left, third quarter. Aliquippa trailing Elder 20-13. It's 2nd and 12 for the Quips. High formation. Joseph drops back, looks long again, one-on-one coverage, looking for Billingsley out there, or is it Smith? Askew was the intended receiver. Mark Berkowitz was down there. We're so far away, it looked like 1, then 2, and it was 5. And Askew had his man, but again, coverage. And Berkowitz made an outstanding play coming over from his safety position because Askew had his man beat.
Timmy Patilla now down for Aliquippa at the 40-yard line. It appears that he may have some leg cramp problems.
And that would be the second injury. Durham was the first to go down. I don't know if Durham is back in the lineup. He was hobbling around on the sidelines. This time Timmy Patilla. And we talked about this earlier. I don't know how much the fatigue factor has to play with this, but we're getting down to the 3rd and 4th quarter, first game of the year. Aliquippa guys are playing both ways, and Elder has that luxury with so many players that they don't have to play guys both ways.
Yeah, it's a fact that you cannot ignore, Bob, that the Elder players only have to play one way, offense or defense. 21 of the 22 Aliquippa positions are manned by, players going both ways. Only the quarterback, Chris Joseph, doesn't go both ways most of the time for Aliquippa. And that's something they have to live with and something that could take its toll in this football game as we go down the stretch.
In case you joined us late, first game on KBL tonight. North Hills looked impressive, 25-6 over Fairfield. As the Indians made a lot of penalties, but they overcame their mistakes, and they got some outstanding production from the Bender Corporation, as they really produced most of the yardage offensively.
I want to get back to one thing about Elder. The amount of players dressed on the sideline, we understand that there are 98 players dressed. We said 95 earlier. It's 98 total. They have 4 injured players. That's 102 football players dressed for the varsity team. That's more than Aliquippa will dress throughout their entire program, 7 for 12.
That's amazing. And Aliquippa loves to compete in the upper levels, and we talked to Bobby Castagna, the athletic director over there. There might be a movement to, in later years, to move down AA, single A, what have you. By rights, they should be in single A, but they're playing AAA, and they like the competition.
It's a tribute to as successful as they've been over the years under Don Yanessa, and I'm sure they'll stay successful in Morocco, but a tribute to be as successful as they've been playing up in classifications, 2 classifications.
Brings out the best in the Quips, and right now they're faced with 3rd and 12 with 7:39 left third quarter. Aliquippa needing that yardage for first down, and Joseph trying to elude the pressure, cannot do it, as he is bowled over by a swarm of Elder tacklers. Leading the way was Chris Lind, and that time he had absolutely no time to set up. The pressure was there as the offensive line could not contain the blitz. Joseph paid the price. 4th down now. Elder is going to get the ball back. Those 3rd and long situations, not exactly what Aliquippa likes to look for. It takes them out of their running situation. They have to pass the ball, and when Elder knows they're going to pass, it makes it that much tougher. And we have another injury by Aliquippa over there. One of the kids is down on the sidelines.
More cramp problem. And getting back to the passing situation you were talking about,
Jerry Smith.
Last couple of years, David Mike, the quarterback for Aliquippa, pretty tall, rangy kid, 6'1", 190 pounds. But Chris Joseph, not the kind of quarterback that David Mike was, a much smaller quarterback. In fact, Chris Joseph is only 5'8", 150 pounds.
And he can't sustain too much of that kind of pass rush. So far, he's been pretty well protected tonight by Aliquippa. They've done a good job containing the front line of Elder. Right now, Aliquippa is forced to punt. And Askew back at his 30, gets it away. Beautiful kick by Arno Askew, and this drives him back all the way to the 5, and the ball bounces into the end zone. Outstanding kick. And it's going to be a 56-yard punt, and that's the longest we've seen so far, although we've seen 4 games today. Jason Bender had one over 50 yards, but that one, 56 yards. Unfortunately, it bounced into the end zone, and it will come back out to the 20-yard line. Elder will have the ball for the 2nd time in this quarter.
Thus far, for the first 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter, no one has been able to move the football. No one has scored. And again, the onus goes back on the Aliquippa defense now to try to come up with a potential turnover.
James Tigner, also bothered by cramping, and he's on the sideline, being that's 3 Aliquippa players in the span of 5 minutes. And they're falling like fleas. 1st and 10 for Elder. 1 back. Path now. Hands off, and ball carrier is met by everyone, it seems, of the Aliquippa front line, led by Laterne Beasley. And Huber had nowhere to go on that one. The Aliquippa defensive line made him pay, and we have another Aliquippa player injured on the field. This is the 4th one, and this again is Sean Durham.
It's the 3rd time that he's gone down in the game, and he gets up, limps back, seems to be okay for a play or 2, and then he goes back down again. Frank Morocco out on the field having a very, very heated discussion with the official.
On the field, and Morocco is livid, as you can see.
I think Frank is talking about a clipping situation that Elder might be performing almost every play inside the trenches.
And that might be the cause of all these injuries, too. Morocco has had his say. And Elder will be in a 2nd and 14 situation. Durham appears to be okay. He's up under his own power as Morocco heads back to the sidelines. And again, Aliquippa cannot afford to have these guys go down with injuries. They just do not have the depth overall that Elder has. And it could turn out to be a big part of this game.
Frank is not a happy camper.
Not at all. The pictures tell 1,000 words.
Second down and long for Elder. And a situation where Aliquippa would love to come up with a turnover. Here's a very key opportunity for them now to try to force the turnover. Second and long. Will Paff go back to pass, and will Aliquippa bring everybody to the kitchen sink?
Now it's Orlando Lash, assistant coach, talking with the officials, and it must be something that Elder is doing, blocking some of the Aliquippa players, because the Aliquippa coaching staff is not too pleased with what they're seeing, and I'm sure it has something to do with the number of injuries. Frank Morocco, talking with him last night, he was reminiscing about his 1964 team that went to the WPIAL championship and held the opposition to no yards defensively. Monongahela, I believe the team was, in 1964. And now we're looking at an injured quarterback, as Joseph is down on the sidelines, and I can't understand how many injuries we've seen in the last couple of seconds. Aliquippa jumps prematurely, and they're going to be penalized, as Chris Joseph is being tended to as well. And for the life of me, I can't remember when he was injured. He was sacked back then, but he got up under his own power. He didn't seem to be bothered. And then he goes to the sidelines, and he's being tended to on the bench.
If it's cramps, that can happen standing on a sideline.
Encroachment on the defense.
Elder fans sensing a chance to pull this one away. Leading by 7, they have the ball with 6:46 left in the third quarter.
Every once in a while, you see strange things like that happen, where all of a sudden a rash of cramp injuries hits one specific team. Odd.
Pro formation. Paff now looking up, screen pass, and it's a nice one. And they get substantial yardage. Jeff Tolby, number 44. It's the first we have seen of him out of the backfield. He was all alone. They set it up very nicely. Good execution, good blocking. And Tolby gets out to the 30-yard line. Brian Elmore, Leonard Myers were there to make the tackle. 3rd and 1 as he comes up just a yard short from the 29. Big play here for the Quips. They need to stop Elder, get the ball back. Up the middle, and that's Mr. Huber's territory. Huber hit once, twice, and finally is leveled by Eric Billingsley, but he does have enough for the first down. Askew was also there defensively for the Quips, but Billingsley had a strong hit.
And Huber
another injury.
Huber takes a couple of pops and keeps on running.
Hit right there by Durham as well as Beasley, and he kept going. Billingsley and Askew finally put him away. Got the first down yardage, and we have another injured Quip. Two players.
Patillo and Durham once again.
The same two that have that were injured earlier in the game, and they're down again. Patillo, Durham especially. Now this is 3 times he's been down in the last 5 minutes, and you hate to see him be playing if he's going to further injure himself.
When we come back, I guess, Bob, we'll talk about how this may end up being a benefit to Aliquippa. We'll talk about that.
All right, it's 20-13. Elder leading Aliquippa. 6:04 left in the third quarter. We're live at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll continue right after this.
Today's high school students are tomorrow's champions, working hard in the classroom and shining bright on ESPN's award-winning Scholastic Sports America, the only weekly national program devoted exclusively to high school athletics. Host Charlene Hawks takes you around the world to meet young record setters and hometown heroes. Scholastic Sports America, Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Huber again, he cuts to the outside, has some running room. Huber gets some big yardage, first down yardage out to the 45-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds by Billingsley and Beasley. And Aliquippa continue to be bothered by the injuries, and it's kind of interesting. Our spotter from Elder High School tells us that this is a new turf in Riverfront. It's very soft. In fact, the Cincinnati Reds have been complaining of several hamstring problems because of this turf.
But here's why this injury situation, and another Aliquippa player is down with a cramp problem. But how this could be a benefit to Aliquippa is that because they have so many players going both ways, the Quips may take this opportunity over the long run to rest themselves here in the second half. You don't want to see the injuries, but it could be a blessing in disguise, so to speak, as this game goes on.
Sharif Smith this time is the one down, number 2, and he's being helped up, but again, new turf. It's very soft.
It's amazing, though.
It really is. I haven't seen this many injuries in an entire season.
But
normally
the
for
same
Aliquippa,
time.
yeah, you're seeing it all one after the other in a range of 5 minutes. Less than 6 left in the third quarter. Elder maintaining a 20-13 lead as this pace of the game is slowed down considerably. Again, Aliquippa this time jumps, and we'll have to wait and see if they were drawn offsides. But Aliquippa's been making some penalties as it gets rather sloppy down on the field. And it is against the Quips. 5 more yards will make it 1st and 5, and you're playing right into the hands of Elder. They like to pass the ball in those 1st and 5 situations.
Encroachment penalty on Leonard Myers in the neutral zone. At this rate, Bob, we'll be here till midnight.
I think that might be a conservative guess. Might be 1 o'clock in the morning. We might need more satellite time. I don't know. 5:28 left. High formation for the Panthers. Fake pitch. Paff now looking downfield. Pressure on. He has the man down there, and it's brought in by Kevin Martin. And Kevin Martin has been one of the big play men. Nance was there for Aliquippa to make the stop. And he's in there because of the injuries, no doubt, but a nice reception again by Mr. Martin.
20 yards, and Paff steps in the pocket nicely, stays there, then steps up and drills the football. I am very impressed with Joe Paff.
Martin is not afraid to go over the middle either, and he's not that big at 5'10", 163, but he has that intangible quality, that toughness. Paff now pitches to Huber. Huber trying to go outside. He's at the 30, the 25, breaks the tackle at the 20, 19, knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And another 1st down for Elder as they move on down the field. Again, it's Nance and Patilla who are making the stops for Aliquippa, but not before Huber got big 1st down yardage.
Huber is a solid running back, doesn't have blazing speed, but he certainly is a good running back. There you see the limp leg, picks up a couple of extra yards. He now has unofficially 108 yards on 19 carries.
14 of which came on that carry right there. 1st and 10 now for the Elder Panthers at the Aliquippa 16-yard line. Huber has been the man for Elder. 2 touchdowns, 1 of 60 yards, 1 of 1 yard. And that is the difference right now as Elder leads by 7. Again, pro formation. Huber up the middle again, cuts outside, has some blocking inside. Aliquippa finally gets to him, but not until he gets inside the 10. Again, it's Patilla making the tackle deep in the secondary. And Huber adds to his total, which is now over 110 yards.
And the Aliquippa players are not firing off the ball anymore defensively. They've got to get the attack back in their defensive arsenal. And Huber, as I said, a solid running back, cuts to the outside and fights for the extra yardage.
Huber now has more yards rushing than the entire Aliquippa team. 116 for Huber, 93 for the Quips. It's 2nd and 3 from the 9. Paff again, calling the signals. He'll go right back to Huber. Huber this time tripped up inside the 10, gains only about a yard. Kenneth Thornton was the man to meet him, number 7, and Thornton has been playing a pretty solid game defensively. Huber is one of those backs you like to give the ball to 25, 30 times a game because he's capable of doing so much. And even though you stop him 2, 3, 4 times in a row, all he needs is that one little bit of an opening, and he can take it right down into the end zone.
Frank Morocco trying to figure out some way to stop Elder on this drive to get the ball back and keep his club from going 2 touchdowns behind.
And time is becoming an ally for Elder. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left, third quarter. Elder with a pitch. Again, it's Huber. Goes outside, has some blocking. And finally, he's going to be knocked down. Hard hit over there by Patilla. As he comes in and makes a beautiful play. Looked like that play was going to go for a little bit more, but Aliquippa quickly closed the opening, and Patilla was there. Patilla has been battling through these injuries as well, and he's back in the lineup and giving it his all.
He puts a pop on the running back right near the boundary, near the 1st down yardage, and the pop by Patilla prevents Huber from getting the 1st down. It's going to be 4th down and very, very short for Elder. A very key defensive play coming up here for Aliquippa. 3:03 to go on a turning third quarter clock. Elder on top, 20-13.
Huber now gaining more yardage than Aliquippa. Huber has gone over that 100-yard mark.
Yeah, unofficially here in the booth, we have him for 108 yards.
But he has been the difference right now. Key part of the game. 4th and 1. Elder will go for it. Papp at quarterback.